Hi everybody, this is Boog Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the DC Multiverse Arkham Asylum Batman figure. So before we take a look at Batman, let's take a look at the accessories that he comes with. And he does come with quite a few. First up is the data file, which contains the image of Batman right there. And there that is. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause it now. Up next, he comes with his base, and this is the same base that all the DC Multiverse figures come with, and you can port it into his heel like so. It's kind of a tight fit, but it does fit. So, if you wanted him with that base, you could do that. But the way the cape is sculpted and the way it lays, you really don't need the stand. That does help him stand, which that's the way it looks in the game, is his cape is always draped like that. So I really like that because, like I said, it helps with him standing without having to have this base attached to his foot here. So up next, he comes with this bomb canister, and it's got some pretty good paint apps to it. You get black on the bottom, silver on the top, and gold right here. And you can have him hold this in either hand. Let me just wedge it in there, so he can hold that like so. Up next, he comes with his grapple gun, and I don't remember the grapple gun looking like this. I'm pretty sure it was just a handheld device. I don't remember it being this big. I could be remembering it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it didn't look like this. This looks more like the remote electrical charge. But like I said, it's been a little while since I played the game, so I could be wrong about that. So looking at it, it's cast in a gunmetal collar, and it has a silver dry brush over top of it, and it looks really nice. It has some really good sculpt and paint detail to it. My only complaint is that Batman really doesn't have a trigger finger. He has a little bit of one, but if you try to move that out any, you're going to split the plastic. As you can see, it's turning white right there. So you can get him holding it like that, and you really can't get him holding it in both hands. I suppose if you messed with it, you could. That's about the best you're going to get with both hands. Like I said, since he can't actually hold his finger in the trigger right there, it doesn't look the greatest. So that's really my only complaint with the weapons is this. But still, it doesn't look too bad overall. He comes with a folded batarang, and it's done in that gunmetal collar with the silver wash over top of it. And he can hold this as well. In either hand, not just this hand. But there you can see he has it folded up. And I thought it would have been nice if he would have had a peg on the back of his belt that you could actually hook this to. But he doesn't. That would have been really nice. And finally, he comes with the extended batarang. And it's done in the same collar. That gunmetal with the silver painted over top of it. And it looks really good. Like I said, all the accessories are pretty nice. It's just that grapple gun that I'm pretty sure is a little incorrect. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at the head sculpt. So the head sculpt looks really good. McFarlane did a good job on this. My only complaint with it is the right eye is just a little bit bigger than the left. I feel like the left was, I think it was pretty spot on. I think the right should be more like the left. But you get the lips painted on, and there's actually a line painted there dividing his lips. So, you get the line painted there and then his lips, so you get a little bit of paint variation there. And looking at the cape, the wrinkles are sculpted really nicely, and it has a slight texturing to it, as you can see. It kind of reminds me of the Marvel Legends infamous Iron Man cape. It has the same texturing, but it is very soft and pliable. And looking at the chest, the Bat logo came out pretty clean, and it looks pretty nice. You get some sculpt to his shoulders right here. It's just cast in that gray color. You get some texturing right here on his sides, which looks pretty nice. And the belt is painted with gold and has a wash of black over it that brings out all the details, as well as the buttons and pouches having some paint detail too. It's like a black line right here on the pouch, and then silver for the buttons. So that's pretty nice. And his gloves here are cast in black. Oops, I must not have had that in his hand very well. Let's put that back in his hand. Actually, let's put it like this. There. Now it shouldn't fall out of his hand. Or maybe it's going to fall out worse now. Okay, let's just leave it like that and hope it doesn't fall out and go flying again. But anyways, his gloves are cast in black and have that silver wash over top of them. And it looks really good. It almost makes it look like it has a texturing to it, but it's just the paint. But it looks really nice. You also get some sculpt detail to the hand right there with some more of that silver paint. And you get the line down his legs from his trunks down to his legs. And you have his boots, which have some good sculpt detail and have that same silver paint over top of them. And then the boots themselves have a little bit of that silver, but not much. And then you get tread on the bottom of his boots, or soles, I should say. And the articulation is hidden pretty well. From the top you can tell there's articulation, but from down here you can't, until you move it, of course. They hid it pretty well from the bottom. So yeah, this has some really good sculpt and paint detail to it. I really like it. The only thing I don't like is that right eye is just slightly bigger. But that's not a huge complaint. Also, I forgot to mention, while we're on the subject of his head sculpt, they also gave a little glimmer of light in each of his eyes. I thought that was a really nice attention to detail there. Because they could have just left his eyes blue, but they actually added a little glimmer of light in there. So yeah, it's just little details like that that really make a figure. So now I'm going to go over his articulation. He has a ball-jointed head that can look up all the way. He can't really look down farther than I had him looking throughout this review. As you can see, that is how I had him. And he can just look down slightly. But he can move his head side to side all the way. And you get some tilting. He has ball-jointed shoulders that can move out all the way. And like I said, the cape is very soft, so that doesn't hinder the articulation at all. And that went flying again. That didn't happen at all before this video. But I'm going to set this down so it doesn't go flying anymore. But he has ball-jointed shoulders that can move all the way out. He has those butterfly joints that can move all the way around. They can shift forward and back, up and down. So I think this has to be the best articulation with the butterfly joints on the DC Multiverse figures I have so far. He has swivel at the bicep right here. He has a single jointed elbow, but it's very crunchy, if you may have heard during the beginning of this review. It's a very crunchy joint, but it can bend in just about all the way. If it could bend in just a little more, it'd be a little bit better. He has those universal ball joints for his wrist that can move up and down. It can hinge up and down and side to side. He has a ball jointed diaphragm that can move back a pretty good amount and forward pretty good. And he also has a ball joint down here in the waist, which when combined you can get him moving back all the way. And you can get him crunching just about all the way forward. It would have been nice if he could move just a little more forward. But when you utilize both of those ball joints, you get some pretty good articulation from there. You can also move side to side like that. And it won't move side to side down here in his waist, so you'll only get the side to side motion up here. If you worked with it, you could probably get it moving side to side, but I can. He has ball jointed hips that can do a complete split. So if you want a Batman that can do a complete split, he can do that. He has a slight swivel at the hips there. I think it was the comic Batman that's had the best swivel. But these are kind of limited. If they could get them like the first Batman figure and get them moving really nicely, then it would be really good. I know a lot of people are complaining about the articulation in the hips, but there is a swivel there. If it could move a little more, that would be nice. So I do hope McFarlane does a better cut in this or something. That way you can move the thighs side to side just a little bit more than that. He has double jointed knees, which are also pretty crunchy, but they can bend all the way back. And he has universal ball joints that can move down all the way, up just about all the way. The shin guard right here does get in the way of that. And it can spin all the way around and also act as an ankle rocker. Oh, and he has toe articulation. I just about forgot about that. He has toe articulation that can move up all the way. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So, first up, here he is next to his comic counterpart, the DC Multiverse comic Batman. And this one is taller than him, mainly because of the ears on the cowl, though. And while I had this out, I wanted to show the articulation on the hips on this guy. They move really well. So I wish that McFarlane would integrate this into all of the figures, because he has some really good thigh articulation. You do get that joint exposed right there, but if you're posing around, you really won't notice it that much. Up next, here he is next to the DC Multiverse Arkham Asylum Joker, which I will be reviewing him next. And they scale pretty well together. I think Joker is 6 foot and Batman is 6'2", if I'm remembering correctly from the game. So the size difference is pretty accurate. So there he is next to him. As I said, I will be reviewing this here shortly. Here he is next to the DC Essentials Harley Quinn. And she doesn't scale too bad next to him. She could be a tad bit taller, but overall it's not a bad size difference. And finally, here he is next to the only other DC Arkhamverse figure that I own, the Arkham Knight Man-Bat figure. Took me forever to get this guy, but he is very awesome. So, trying to figure out how to position him here so he doesn't knock Batman over. So, there. But yeah, he does scale with that Man-Bat. And he should scale with the rest of the Arkham figures, because I'm pretty sure they were in 7-inch scale back when they came out. So he does scale with the one Arkham figure, other Arkham figure that I own. He scales with, I should say. So, overall, I would highly recommend this Batman figure. It is a very awesome Batman Arkham figure. I don't have any of the previous Arkham Batmans to compare it to, but this is really awesome. I missed out on most of the Arkham figures, minus Man-Bat, of course. So I hope McFarlane does some more, aside from Batman and Joker. I'm pretty sure they have a Harley Quinn and Deathstroke planned from the Arkham games, and maybe Red Hood too? I'm not sure about Red Hood. But yeah, I hope McFarlane continues doing DC Arkham figures. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.